And if you just watched Al's game on his channel, where the Boston Red Sox finally beat the '67 St. Louis Cardinals in about a 5-hour game, was supposed to be Pedro versus Bob Gibson. Welcome here. We won't keep you too long. In the description of this is a poll. And what's the poll about? It's your chance to pick the season for my live baseball replay, which will start not this week because we have all sorts of football stuff to talk about. But oh boy, do I need to shave. But next week, next Tuesday, as a matter of fact, we're going to start, and you get to pick the season. 5 seasons were nominated, and they are 1976. Not great pennant races, but Reggie in Baltimore, one of the best American League Championship series of all time between the Yankees and the Royals. Good season for the Royals. First season at the new stadium for the Yankees, of course, which is now gone, but for some of us, that is the new stadium. Let's see, Phillies and of course the Big Red Machine, Phillies and Reds. Last gasp for Dick Allen. Like I said, pennant races aren't that great though, but someone nominated it, and so it's in there. Let's see, the other nominee from offline, and probably my personal favorite season, 1978. Which had 4 pennant races in all 4 divisions and 9 teams within 5 games of each other. So in the American League East, well, we won't talk about what happened in the American League East. Just bad things happen, okay? Just nightmarish things. We don't talk about them. In the American League West, it was the Royals over the Angels and the Rangers who were all within 5 games. And of course, if you're not familiar with the 78 American League East, it was the year the Red Sox blew a 14.5 game lead to the New York Yankees. And also, you could give Milwaukee and Baltimore a legitimate shot at winning that division, too. In the National League, again, 2 divisional races within 5 games of each other. In the East, it was the Phillies over the Pirates with a 5-game lead coming down the last weekend. And in the West, the Dodgers and the Reds. And you could actually make a case for the Padres and the Giants, too. So that would make for an interesting regular season. The postseason wasn't as good, but the best 2 teams in baseball were New York and Boston. But, different simulations. Actually, like I said, Milwaukee and Baltimore could actually win that division. 1982 is nominee number 3. Again, tight races in all the divisions. Milwaukee and California won it in the American League. Milwaukee outlasted Baltimore in Baltimore the last weekend of the season. I think Baltimore had went 1 and couldn't do it or whatever. That was a long time ago. That's a season that started with the blizzard on the East Coast, so the Red Sox and Yankees were home. And the Red Sox didn't play till Saturday, missing like 4 or 5 games. And the Yankees, they couldn't get Yankee Stadium ready until that Sunday, and they played a doubleheader against the White Sox. So that's a good season. The Cardinals won that World Series. That was the year Atlanta started 13-0. And Atlanta actually was going to win game 1 of their National League Championship Series before it was rained out. California blew a 2-game lead in the best of 5. So good, decent playoffs that year. The other two are 1985, which I kind of already started, but don't mind starting that again because live is always better than tape. That's the year I was 14, so everything means a lot to me. It's the Cardinals and the Mets fought in the National League East. The Dodgers, Reds, and Padres in the National League West. And the American League East, the Yankees and Blue Jays went right down to the last Saturday of the season in Toronto, as a matter of fact, at Old Exhibition Stadium before the Blue Jays won out. And the Angels took the Royals to the last weekend of the season. In fact, the Angels choked to win the division. So, again, some good races, and from when a lot of us were early teenagers, which makes it a little more meaningful. And 1988 is the last season. That's the Morgan Magic one. If you're a big Oakland A's fan, of course, that's the year that Oakland just destroyed Boston in the playoffs and behind those vitamin B takers of Jose Canseco and Mark McGwire. The Mets did a lot of nasty things in the National League East, and that's the year that Oral Hershiser broke Don Drysdale's scoreless inning record in the National League West, and the Dodgers upset the Mets in the National League Championship Series. And of course, Kirk Gibson's home run in Game 1 of the World Series. So they're all decent choices. I don't want to sway you either way because this is the one that you're going to pick. So you have 5 choices: 76, 78, 82, 85, and 88. The plan is to do, I don't know how long it's going to take to do an individual game. I'd like to see if I can squeeze in 2 over an hour and a half. It takes me about 40 minutes to tape a game. So if I don't chat too much, and we might be able to get 2 in sometime. But it would be the same thing as do with the football games. It's at least 2 games a week, 1 midweek game and 1 Saturday game. Best ofs, and I'll probably walk you through and how I select some of those. 26 weeks and 2 rounds of playoffs because they're all in the divisional series, and we'll have actually about a week or 2 before we get into the next football season because there will be another football season. So it's your vote. Decide how you want to do that. Like I said, the link is in. I'll put the link up here. No. Vote. You can vote on which season you want. It's also in the description if you're not watching this live. I'm kind of curious on what you want to choose. So 76, 78, 82. I feel like I'm playing Keno here. 82, 85, and 88. The winner of that poll will be the season that we start. And we start that season a week from Tuesday because the football playoffs will be on the championship game stage. And so we won't be doing 4 or 5 football games a week. But baseball season's coming. We're going to be using Action PC 2019 baseball to play the games. And unless it's a Red Sox game, I'll be managing the home team, even if it's a team I don't like, as in the Yankees. And so if you've watched any of my baseball replays before, we have a lot of fun. And they'll all be live. Every pitch of the series will be, every pitch of the season, the replay games will be live. And like I said, I want to do at least 2 games a week. Sometimes we'll get in 3 or 4, but they'll be the same lunchtime things as we did before. It'll be Tuesdays and Thursdays at lunch to play some baseball. And that will take us, like I said, it's a 26-week regular season, add a couple of weeks for the playoffs in the World Series, and it'll be football season again before you know it. All right. So, you know what's coming up. We got the 4 pro divisional games from 78 this weekend. A college basketball doubleheader for you Saturday. Michigan and State and UCLA from the 70s, with the nightcap being Duke and North Carolina from the 80s. And then next Sunday, no cards and dice next Sunday during the day. Next Sunday night, after the NFL playoffs are over for the day, for real, will be the national championship pre-play between Alabama and Clemson. And yes, I did see the ratings for Alabama, and they are real, and they are quite spectacular. All right. Give this video a like, but more importantly, go vote in the poll. It's in the chat. It's in the description. And it'll be on the Sports Simulations page on Facebook, too. Thanks a bunch. I'm Ron Juckett. To football tomorrow, and then a whole bunch of stuff for New Year's Eve. I'll talk to you the next time.